Hello, my name is Quinn. I'm a Smith College student majoring in East Asian languages and literatures with a minor in education and child study. And I was with the Associated Kyoto program for the past academic year, which at the time of recording this video was 2019 to 2020. The cultural activities grant, I really don't want you to skip out on looking at this thing because it was actually the only reason I was able to do literally anything. Believe it or not, I did not actually come to Japan with a lot of spending money at all. And it ended up being my primary source of funds for independent public transportation for when I want to go exploring somewhere, for taiko lessons, while a lot of my other friends did stuff like koto lessons and other Japanese instruments. For buying cool souvenirs or other awesome items that you might come across while you're exploring, for entry into museums, gardens, performances, all kinds of places. I even used it to pay for an izakaya I went to. So there's actually a lot of freedom with what you get to do with it. A lot more freedom than I actually expected. And you might think that for a month, $100 is not enough, but the thing that I want you to know too is that unless you're going all out and all over the place multiple times a week, that money can actually even accumulate over time. You might have some left over, and then you go on to the next month and you're given another 10,000 yen. To the point where, me personally, I actually returned home with leftover money from the grant. And before I went home, because of that, I made a lot of self-indulgent purchases, like a Japanese Nintendo 3DS and more, for learning purposes, of course. But really, the fact that I came home with so much leftover, in general, is the reason that you shouldn't have to feel so frugal with it. The grant exists so that you can throw yourself out there, so do it. I came to Japan at first because I wanted to study the language intensively as well as to feel more connected with the country itself. And I could say without a doubt that it did. A language, this is how I think about it. A language doesn't exist in isolation. A language exists as a thread to connect people. And by the time I left Japan, I wasn't just better educated. I had supportive Japanese friends who became a emotional purpose for my studies. Even a lot of the items I have behind me are things that I retrieved as gifts from those people. So these people became an incredible drive that solidified Japan and the people there as something that was important to me. So navigating Japan independently, of course, will also give you loads of self-confidence, but it's especially just being there and connecting with the people there that will leave you feeling more mature and well-rounded as you depart. My word of advice is don't skip out. Say yes, be spontaneous, agree when your friend texts you a message saying, hey, you want to go over and check out this place, except in 2 hours from now. It doesn't matter, say sure, why not? Part of the joy of study abroad is the fact that it consists of so many little once-in-a-lifetime moments. It will be so memorable. Make it memorable. You might return to Japan again. Of course, many people who study abroad will return to Japan for the JET program or for future work in Japan, whatever it may be. But your time abroad as an undergraduate student is a short-lived one, where you can really throw yourself out there. So don't be afraid. You can do anything. If you see an opportunity, I don't even just recommend grab it. I demand grab it, actually. You'll be happy once it's over because that amount of effort you put into accumulating so many fun experiences will be just a bank of memories for you to look back on. You will be grateful for yourself. But aside from that, I can also give you some little things. Number one, keep a journal where you note down the names of all the places that you've been. There's also really beautifully designed free to use stamps outside of a lot of awesome public spaces too. So if you have a bullet journal or a travel journal, whatever it may be, get those on there. They're awesome looking. Number two, take photos, take videos, whatever it may be. I actually don't even consider myself a person who likes taking selfies myself, but I still, in retrospect, heavily regret not taking any photos with me in them as well. Your time there is going to be pretty precious, so you're going to want to archive it. You're going to want to memorialize it in some way, however it might be. It's just that photos and videos are the most specific or easy to like go to one. I just super recommend actually doing this. You will want them, trust me. And then number 3 is that you really should not be afraid of making language mistakes. Like legitimately, you should prioritize communication over perfection while still honing your skills in your courses. And like if you follow this idea like religiously, by the time that you return, you're going to end up with a lot of Japanese friends, and your Japanese will also improve as a result of fearless practice. That's what's the most important thing.